Hi, this is the Venuemate Stripe Connect integration demo, and I'm going to take you through the configurations, both on the admin side and also on the vendor's side. But before that, I would just like to point out that Stripe Connect is meant for the marketplace use case, and what that implies is that marketplace must be a multi-vendor, must be multi-vendor. So meaning that your website must be a multi-vendor. Without your marketplace or your website being a multi-vendor, you cannot use Stripe Connect. In other words, you cannot integrate Stripe Connect. You must have multiple or different sellers or vendors on your website. So that's very important to point out. So basically, there are steps that we have to undertake to be able to integrate Stripe Connect. And the first step is to the sellers onboarding. So the sellers onboarding is basically it's a functionality that will allow the vendors to connect their Stripe accounts to the marketplace. So in this case, Venuemate. There are two ways of going about that, and the first way is the admin. The admin will be able to create the vendor's account. After creating the vendor's account, then the admin will be able to send the vendors those credentials. So each and every vendor will have their unique credentials. That's the username, password, so on and so forth. The second option is that the admin can enable the vendor registration, so the vendors will be able to register on their own. After registering on their own, then they'll be able to log into their accounts, and they'll be able to connect their accounts. As we'll be able to see in the demo, they'll be able to connect their accounts to the marketplace. So in this case, we're talking about the Venuemate. They'll be able to connect the account to the Venuemate, and as we'll be able to see during the onboarding, they'll start from the vendor's portal, then they'll be redirected to Stripe account, where Stripe requires them to enter the username and the password. A note here: vendors or sellers log into their accounts, so then they onboard to the marketplace. So in this case, the Venuemate. Even if the accounts were created by the admin, the onboarding must be done by the vendors themselves, since Stripe requires them to enter their credentials. So Stripe requires them to enter their username, their emails, and their passwords. Okay, so Stripe requires them to enter those credentials to authorize Stripe to connect the accounts to the Venuemate or the marketplace account. And then another thing to point out here is after the vendors they have onboarded, after they onboard, then they should be able to from their portal they should be able to add the services or the products that they're going to sell on the marketplace. The admin is also able to add the products or the services, but the vendors can also do that. Then the marketplace must be a multi-vendor. Each and every vendor have their own accounts, and they're able to manage their products and services. And then step 2 here. The step 2 is payment collection. So basically, the first step, we have onboarded, we have connected the vendor Stripe accounts to the Venuemate or the marketplace account. Then the step 2 now is now when the step 2 here is payment collection, and the payment collection to the marketplace or Venuemate in this for our case.